I've been seeing a lot of conspiracy theory stuff on Instagram and TikTok lately, and it's so interesting to me because a lot of this stuff I've heard little murmurs and little rumors about conspiracy theories for the longest time, and eventually the things finally come out as the truth, and it's satisfying to see that, most people were wrong, but whoever believed in the conspiracy theory was right. When conspiracy theories were a term created to discourage people from believing in conspiracy theories, but anyway, I understand that a lot of conspiracy theories are insane, like flat Earth, ridiculous. Um, I mean, flat Earth is the biggest one I can think of, but the moon landing, I don't know, like the moon landing and that, yeah. But, there are a lot of conspiracy theories where you would have to be insane to not doubt the real story. Like JFK's original assassination, the Warren Commission, the government agency tasked with determining the cause of death for John F. Kennedy said that it was one bullet that killed him when there was like four exit wounds at least. Exit or no, not wounds, like not exit wounds, sorry. Entrance slash exit holes, right? So it was obviously at least two bullets that hit the guy. And people say there's more than that. I don't know how many more than that there could be, but JFK, definitely a lot of weird stuff surrounding his assassination and death. Like, he was the only person to challenge the Federal Reserve. He would not kiss the wall in Israel, which a lot of people, say that that's why he died. But I think it's more about the Federal Reserve. It's always about the money. He wanted to challenge the Federal Reserve, and super rich people didn't like that, so they took him out. And I know that seems like a movie conspiracy theorist thing, but that's how the real world works. I don't know how to get that point across, but super rich people have most often have very strong addictions to their money and power, and they would do nearly anything to keep it, like lying, putting money into defame people, to defame their critics, misinformation, all kinds of stuff. But back to the point. Conspiracy theories like the JFK assassination, I'm not as interested in as 9/11 because 9/11 for the longest time has just been the weirdest string of conspiracy theories. Like, if there was no planes, it was just bombs. So the towers fell because of a controlled demolition. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. It's always the weirdest things. But the more I've like actually looked into just factual evidence from 9/11 and not people's opinions on the evidence from 9/11, things become insanely concerning. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, it's crazy. I mean, this is my opinion, and this is, I'm only going off of things I've seen on the internet, which is the same thing that other people do. We could all be being lied to. I could be being lied to about my incorrect theory, and you could be being lied to about your correct theory. But here's the point: 9/11. Tons of bystanders said they saw explosions from inside the towers. Tons of people said there were no planes. People were inside the buildings when things happened. Not to, there's a lot of weird things too. Like, planes flew into these buildings, and for some reason the buildings didn't like wobble at all. The plane just went straight through it. And, that could be possible. With the structural integrity of a ginormous building like that. It could just go straight in and kind of damage the inside of the building and not the outer structure. But I've heard theorists say that they've talked to structural engineers, and there's no way those towers would have came down without a controlled demolition. And not just that, but the owner of the building and his odd situation of that day, the person who owned the 9/11 building took out insurance on the building a few months before maybe, and him and his daughter were not in the building on the day of 9/11. And he was asked about it in an interview, why wasn't he there? And he just gives the longest, craziest, oh, it was actually the day that my daughter and I got lost and I got sidetracked. And blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know, but I don't believe 9/11 was normal. It was not a terrorist attack. People say that they staged it so that we could go to war in Iraq. I don't know why we would have staged it. I really can't pretend to know all the political details, but I can tell you that the the collapsing of those towers was not normal. Uh, the whole event was very abnormal. I've heard people say they found passports that they used as evidence on the ground in New York City as if they somehow just flew out of the planes untouched when, 90% of those aircrafts were completely unrecognizable and unrecovered. Um, and what else about 9/11 isn't right? We had dancing Israelis. Apparently, there was like five dancing Israelis outside of 9/11, like looking happy as hell the day it happened. There's an interview of an Israeli woman being interviewed, and this is the day of 9/11 on the ground, and she looks like she's smiling. She says she's Israeli. Um, anyway, conspiracy theories are fun to think about, but also kind of frightening because they make you realize just how unfair the world is, just how skewed it is. I mean, let's talk about another conspiracy theory. Jeffrey Epstein. I actually thought about this long before I heard the theory, but people theorize that he was a Middle Eastern intelligence agent, like a spy, trying to get. This is what okay, now we're going to get into what I always thought, not what the conspiracy theories thought, or at least from my understanding. I thought Jeff Epstein was a plant, kind of like a spy, to get dirt on high value American targets like the Clintons, the Bush, Obamas, Trump, stuff like that, because, Jeffrey Epstein, now that we know everything about him, and he was used as a scapegoat, whatever, and we've all been waiting for the Epstein files for years now, and they're not giving them out. Well, maybe the people who are being blackmailed just have enough value right now to keep the list from coming out, or the people who own the list think that they have no benefits from giving out the list, because then those people can't be blackmailed anymore. So, I could definitely see that Epstein was a Mossad spy that was using blackmail or getting dirt on people. I mean, really, like on his own, he was getting dirt on people, to make them do work for him and stuff like that. But if you've ever paid close attention to American politics, seen things like Joe Biden's son's laptop, the cocaine, Obama, the things he did in office, bombing children's hospitals, stuff like that. I mean, conspiracy theories, it's a shame that the word conspiracy theory, conspiracy theorist has so much shame brought on it, because it really keeps the majority of the population from learning what the elites do, what the people at the top of the world are doing. And it's crazy. I mean, seriously. I really think so many things are not really conspiracy theories, but I think so many laws, regulations in the world are to keep rich people rich, keep rich people where they are. There are tons of laws that only exist for rich people, or there are tons of laws that only exist for poor people, because the law or the punishment is just a fine, which basically means if you're rich enough, this is legal. It's a shame that that's how the world works, but that is how it is, at least right now. Money is not perfect. Money is not a perfect influencer. Money will make people do good things. It'll make people change the world for the better, but money will also make people hunt down money and steal and scam people and all sorts of other things. So, the moon landing conspiracy theory, I don't know that I believe, but it's definitely convincing. I mean, I've seen I'm not saying I'm probably 50-50, because the biggest things for me with the moon landing are, one, no other country has put a man on the moon since. Two, I kind of lost my train of thought. It's just really weird that no other country has put a man on the moon since we did. And, people, there's a clip I've seen where we lost somebody at NASA said we lost the technology that got us to the moon or something. That might be a fake video, but I'm pretty certain that no other country has put a man on the moon yet. And that's concerning, because technology has technology has exponentially advanced since the first moon landing. So we would think that every country would have put a man on the moon by now, but whatever. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me now. If anyone watching this is like, why would we fake the moon landing? For the Cold War, basically. That's the main theory of why we would fake the moon landing. We were in a Cold War with Russia, which basically means like a technological war. We're trying to see who can get better weapons, better tech, competing with them to be the world superpower. The guy with the biggest stick, if you will. The guy with the biggest stick controls the world. The guy with the biggest weapon is the ruler of the world. That's how it works. So the point of that with Russia was, if we make them think we've put a man on the moon, then they will burn resources, burn money, burn time trying to get a man on the moon to match that. But, maybe we did, maybe we didn't make it to the moon. But all conspiracy theories are so fun. If anyone's got a conspiracy theory they want me to evaluate, I would love to do that. Oh, that would be so cool. So comment a conspiracy theory you want me to rank, and I would do that. It's so cool learning about this stuff. UFOs, I don't know if I believe that UFOs have been around, but I'm probably about 50-50 or close to the middle on that one too. Again, it's like some people say they've seen them, some people say they're lying, and well, obviously it's a very tiny fraction of people who have said they've seen UFOs, but I've also seen military members before Congress claiming that they've seen things that they can't understand, things flying faster than they thought possible. So, and when you think about it, like, do you think the government would tell everyone there are aliens incredibly smarter than us within range of the Earth that could come here? That probably wouldn't calm everyone down. That would probably freak everyone out. So as a government, you'd probably say, well, let's try to like hide the UFOs. We don't want everyone knowing that there's alien life much more intelligent than us nearby that could take over. So you don't want to tell your people that. It causes craziness and outrage in the streets and all that. So I love conspiracy theories, though. Love learning about them. Love learning about the world because of them. Yeah, conspiracy theories can teach you a lot. Show you the deepest, darkest depths of the world and the elite. I'm not like a communist or fascist, socialist or anything like that, but this is a good thing to say. I'm not a socialist, communist. I don't mind millionaires. I don't mind billionaires, but what I mind is when billionaires use their money to influence politics and law so that they can make more money or keep people down or charge people more, cause more taxes, stuff like that. Like, yeah. So, I like capitalism for the most part, except for what it's done to healthcare. Well, actually, I don't even know if that was capitalism. That wasn't even capitalism that did that to healthcare. See, if healthcare was perfectly capitalist, every hospital would have all their prices listed out on the boards for you to see, which would cause competition to go wild. All hospitals' procedures and every service a hospital provides would be public knowledge, and you could look up what's a good price for this, and it would tell you. You can get this price at this place, this place, this place near you. But because of Obamacare and insurance agencies and the insurance industry, the healthcare insurance industry, now everyone is getting scammed. The government's making money, healthcare industry is making money, and yeah. Insurance is just a middleman that takes money for organizing the healthcare, which doesn't need to be done. This is a very simplistic view that I'm giving. It's a very short way of saying that hospitals and people don't need the middleman that is insurance. It would be a lot better. Everything would be a lot cheaper if hospitals' prices were competitive and forced to be public knowledge and published at the front of their hospitals. And healthcare is a really sad scam because it's something people need, so people know they can charge ridiculous amounts for it. Nice little rant. I haven't posted in a while. Haven't really been sure what to talk about, but conspiracy theories I love talking about. Next time I should like bring up put some proof on my screen. Yeah, I'll see if I can like share my screen next time with my head in the corner or something. That would be pretty cool. All right, or comment what you want to see, people. You're